Cellar Dive episode number 20 of
Brutal Battle.
So, since we're doing much smaller episodes now, just to scale back, spending and time spent on the podcast, we're only doing 2 beers as opposed to 4 like we normally do. So this will be a much quicker episode. And I'm going to say we're not really competing on this one.
And I say we should, because we always compete.
No. Well, first of all, we don't always. If people go back and they listen to all the cellar dives, there are ones where we compete and ones where we don't. So that's a lie. The other thing is this. It's more fair when you have 2 beers to choose. You know what I mean? Because, one could be good and one could be bad, and then, you have opportunities. With this one, I can already tell you right now you would win. I can tell you, because the beer that you picked is one of the best beers we've had in a long time. And we've already had it before. The beer I picked, we've never even had before. So it is more of a unknown
wild card.
I trust the brewery, I will say. I definitely trust the brewery that did my beer. So I'm sure it's going to be good. I just don't think it's going to be as good as what you picked.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's
Fine.
over before it starts type thing. So maybe in your mind,
in my mind, I already won.
Okay. In your mind, we're competing and you already won. In my mind, there's no competition, and the audience members, there's no competition, right?
Okay.
They would agree with me, I'm sure. Okay, so my beer's first, and this one is in a 750 milliliter bottle. Or, I'm sorry, this is a 22 ounce, not a 750. A little bit smaller. This one is by Mellow Mink Brewing. This is their Scarlet Sunrise, and Mellow Mink is out of...
Should be Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Yep, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. We had picked this up when we were there last, which is a few years ago. 3
Well,
years?
it was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
I think the last time
3, 4?
The last time we were there was December 2019.
Okay, so then so it's basically 3 years old at this point. Okay, so yeah, so this one is their Scarlet Sunrise. It is a blend of sour red ales aged for 12 months in Cabernet Sauvignon barrels, re-fermented on blackberries and blueberries, naturally carbonated and conditioned in the bottle, and it is 6.8% alcohol. And if people hear piano music in the background, my apologies, that is townhouse living when you have people living next door to you who decide to put their piano right up against the wall. Thank you so much on the main level.
The last time we were at Mellow Mink was with Kelly and Kyle Norman.
It was. Correct. And I don't think we ever had a beer at Mellow Mink that we didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
They had some really good stuff.
They've either been good or very good.
Agreed. As the piano music just gets louder and louder and louder. People, can you tell how...
Oh, wrong glass.
How much I love it. How much I just love it.
I took the one you poured first, because that's supposed to be me.
Yeah, sorry. I should have. So, plenty carbonation on there.
Yeah, lots of
Small
carbonation.
bubbles. Small bubbles.
Kind of a not very attractive color.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like blueberry juice. Blueberry juice does not look good.
It's murky.
Yeah, blueberry juice has this kind of reddish, cloudy, kind of drab red color to it. And it kind of looks like that. But, it's a sour red. So sour reds are going to look this way.
A little amber.
Sure. Anyway. Okay, everyone just pretend we have a soundtrack.
Background music.
Yeah, exactly. It smells appropriately sour.
Yeah, it smells good.
I do need to point out, they actually put on here the types of bugs, in quotation marks, they put in it. Saccharomyces, Brettanomyces, and Lactobacillus. So just so people know.
Scarlet Sunrise.
It smells fruity. It's got a tart bite on the nose. I wouldn't quite say sour. It doesn't smell super sour. Maybe
tart.
Yeah, tart-ish.
I can't pick out any berries. It just smells like nondescript berries.
Yeah, it's just fruit. Although...
It smells like... Strawberry's not in there, but I'm smelling strawberry.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like a berry mixture.
Yeah.
I feel like people could be strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, say any berry. Yeah. And I could agree with you. Definitely. I mean, it smells good. There's a little bit of a funkiness on the nose that I quite like. I'm a fan of the funky. So the tartness, the funkiness, and the fruitiness all coming together. Smells nice to me. I'm enjoying the smell. Hopefully, it translates to the flavor.
very berry.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
You probably really like this. I like it.
good.
I can appreciate the complexities of the beer. It's just not my style. But I like the fruit for sure.
Yeah. And I would say I'm probably tasting more of the blackberry than the blueberry, in my opinion, which is fine. I mean, it's both those berries are very tasty. And yeah, the berry level is nice. I do like the bit of a funkiness at the very end. That's quite nice.
Yeah, it's definitely sour, definitely tart, but not too much.
It's not causing a lot of phlegm for me.
Right.
I would still put it on that tart scale as opposed to a sour scale. Because, yeah, it's really not like making me pucker or anything. It's just kind of this light tartness, which I like. I think that works well with having a more fruit-forward beer. And to be honest, a lot of the times when the base is a sour red, I feel like that's when you get the more softer tartness instead of actual sourness. So I kind of expected this with this beer. But yeah, I like the balance.
Okay, it's just blueberries and blackberries.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the balance of what's going on here. A lot of things going on.
Are you getting any of the barrel characteristic?
Yeah, I get some woodiness. I definitely get some wood aspect and a little bit of like a tannic note.
Like a wine.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there is that bit of like the skins of the red grapes. So there is a little wine note to it as well. It's very tasty. I'm a fan.
For what it is, it feels sessionable.
Oh, very sessionable. Well, and it's not like it's high ABV or anything either. So 6.8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down with it. So my beer is quite good. I'm just going to claim victory now. We should probably just stop here. I'm going to claim victory.
With one beer.
Yeah, okay. Exactly.
So my pick is by a brewery that we love, Sapwood Cellars. It is their Flaked, which is an imperial oatmeal stout with coconut and vanilla. And it is 10.5%. And Sapwood Cellars is in Columbia, Maryland.
What of their stouts have we had on this podcast?
You know, I don't even know.
I think we had, what was the first one that we went crazy was Shelled. I think we had Shelled on. So a bunch of their stouts that they put out are very much like Shelled in the sense of like the base imperial stout that they have, and then they just do different things with it. And it's usually really awesome. So yeah. So like I said before, the first beer we have never had before. This one we have had before. We know this is wonderful. But here we go. We're going to break it down again. It looks very thick.
Look, I know when you were pouring it, I was like, it's very thick. It's like motor oil thick.
Yeah, I was going to say it's almost motor oil in my mind. But
I feel like the thickest beer, though, in your mind, what's the thickest beer you've ever had?
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really recall.
See, for me, it's very I remember it.
Was it, why am I blanking on it? 1050.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because the last time I had that, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so thick.
1050 by Oscar Blue is very motor oily, very thick. Yeah.
It's great beer.
This isn't quite there. But
no.
I will say when I swirl it up, the head on it looks very milkshakey. Like it looks creamy, like it's lactic.
Yeah. But there's no lactose in the beer.
No. Ooh, so vanilla-y.
So good. It's like you get that vanilla, you get like the chocolate, you get the coconut. Like you get it all.
You definitely get all of that. I get a slight.
Don't say anything bad.
Olive. I get a
really?
very, very slight olive. It's like a hint on the end of each sniff.
It's one of those smells that you pick up because you hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't pick it up.
But it smells great. I mean, lots of
good.
coconut, lots of vanilla, plenty of chocolate. It just smells like a dessert, but it also doesn't smell like it's super sweet or going to punch you in the mouth with too much flavor. It smells very nuanced, very kind of like smooth and easy. But yeah, let's go in.
So good.
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, it's just exactly how it's one of those beers, like it smells and it tastes like it should based on the description. You're getting the coconut. You're getting lots of vanilla. It's nice. It's smooth. I don't perceive it being 10%, 10.5%. Easy. Full mouthfeel. Full bodied.
This does need to warm up a little bit more, though, I will say. Because I'm getting a little bit of a metallic taste to it. Which I find that I get that a lot with stouts when they're still a bit too cold. They get this metallic-y note, and as they warm up, that just disappears. So I think this is still a little bit on the colder end from where we optimally want to drink it. But yeah, you're getting a lot of the vanilla, a lot of the coconut, a good like dark chocolate bitterness on the finish, because there is a pretty significant bitter kick at the end, which I'm totally good with. It's got like a very kind of milk chocolatey, creamy mouthfeel as well. Which, obviously, I'm great with that. Yeah, this is a killer beer. This is a very nice, I want to say lineup, but it's only two. A very nice pairing of, two very different beers to drink in the same night and go between. Yeah. It'd be like something very light and a little tart and fruity, and then something very dark and decadent and viscous and, dessert-like. Very different, but very wonderful beers, both of them.
Really good.
I'm a fan. Were there flavor notes on the back of the flaked? I will read that. Or did you want to read it?
Go ahead. They usually write something.
Yeah. A rich, dark, fudgy beer with mounds of toasted and untoasted flaked coconut and an avalanche of organic Madagascar vanilla beans to balance the roast. The flavor is big and the body is syrupy. Yeah, it kind of is. Thanks to flaked oats and English caramel malt. A dessert treat for the snowy nights ahead. Yes. And you had said the ABV was 10.5. I mean, that's not that bad nowadays for imperial stouts. Like, this is, I'm not going to say it's sessionable for an imperial stout, but it's closer to sessionable for an imperial stout with a lot of what we typically end up drinking in that vein. But yeah, this is great. So what's your rank? What's our ranking? Go ahead.
Well, Flaken is number 1, and number 2 is the Scarlet Sunrise.
No need to recap.
It's also hard to compare because they're so different.
I know. I would be interested in seeing Sapwood have a try at something similar to what Mellow Mink did here. They've done some other sours, but I'm saying like something in like, a Cabernet Sauvignon barrel. I think they may have done one of those before, but we just haven't had it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, rephrase what I was going to say. I would like to try something like this from Sapwood.
Yeah.
Not that they necessarily haven't done it. That's just saying. But anyway, this was fun. Sorry, it's short. This is the way things are going to be now. But let's plug all the stuff. Rate us and review us on whatever podcatcher you listen to us through. iTunes helps the most if you can. Tell people about us. Word of mouth is huge. If you know any big beer nerds in your life, they may like this podcast. Send us an email if you just want to reach out and say hi, or you have ideas for episodes or beers you want us to try, or want advice on beer stuff, whatever. BrutalBattlePodcast@gmail.com. We are on Untapped. I am all one word, the easiest way to find me. Carlton Malibu, CarltonMalibu. And Rebecca?
Just Rebecca C.
Rebecca C. And then the Insta.
Brutal Battle Podcast.
Yes. And then if you want back episodes, you can go to the website, brutalbattle.com, which also has pictures of all the beers we try on each episode. And then you can also go to archive.org and just search Brutal Battle, and it'll bring up everything if you're, if you want to do it that way. Because that's where we have our files hosted, our audio files. But anyway, thanks everyone for checking this out. Always appreciate having an audience. And until next time,
keep it brutal.
I feel so